Thousands of artifacts that make Lethbridge's Fort Whoop-Up the historical space it is are being packed up, and no one knows when they'll be displayed again. The city is renewing applications for a new operator of Fort Whoop-Up. Meanwhile, staff and volunteers are working to protect what they hold dearest. Taylor Oseen reports.
I think that the preservation of our history is who we are. And I can't imagine the city of Lethbridge allowing an institution like this to close.
Georgia Fuchs created the Fort Whoop-Up Interpretive Center Society 42 years ago. They've operated the replica whiskey trading post since it opened.
I've spent my 87 years writing about and trying to preserve Lethbridge history.
Fort Whoop-Up was first built at another location in 1869. Now, the Society may be forced to find another home for their artifacts. The Society's current executive director says in the past, they've just renewed their agreement. And in October, the city opened up a request for proposals on the property. That's got Duran Dagenstein asking, what price does the city put on culture?
The really neat thing that we've been able to do is take a whiskey fort in many people's eyes and bring back our trading partners.
The city says it's common practice for them to open a bidding process, even on long-standing operations.
Every once in a while, we got to test the waters to make sure that we're getting the value for money, and also that there's no other agency or organization that would like to compete for the same work.
Barry Beck says the society was encouraged to put in a bid, and if they weren't successful, there could be opportunities to work with the organization or group that was chosen. But Dagenstein says they weren't interested.
We intended to compete to bid to operate the property, but it's just, our relationship has just gone south far enough. There's just no hope.
He says the floods in 2012 left them in a tough financial spot, roughly $60,000 in the hole. Dagenstein says despite having 2 great years in a row for the fort, it still wasn't enough to keep the nonprofit's head above water.
The city needed to take some more financial responsibility for those events.
Of the roughly 10,000 artifacts that sit inside the walls of Fort Whoop-Up, about 90% of them will stay with the society. The city is laying claim to the other 500. The society says they're not yet sure what the future holds. However, they have had plenty of other museums ask if they're willing to transport their exhibits. As well, they're getting new offers daily for different opportunities throughout southern Alberta. Taylor Oseen, CTV News, Lethbridge.
And the city says they're not rushing the society to leave and that they have extra time to use the facility after their agreement ends December 31st. But Dagenstein is set on packing up and moving out before then.